What's up, guys? So, in this entire video, we'll be learning how we can authenticate users using React.js and Appwrite. So, before starting this video, let us talk something about Appwrite. And before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe it because I have put a lot of effort in creating a series that is ultimate guide on the Next.js authentication. Okay, so you can go ahead and watch that. But this video is entirely about Appwrite authentication. Now, what is Appwrite? So if we'll go ahead to appwrite.io, it's telling that build your entire backend within minutes and host your site all within Appwrite's all-in-one platform. Now, this is a cloud infrastructure on which you can store your data without creating any backend. Okay, so they have a lot of products, and recently on May 19th, they introduced Appwrite sites through which you can deploy your applications on Appwrite Cloud. So this is an open source, the versatile alternative. Now you can see they provide a lot of things behind the scenes like authentication, databases, storage, function, messaging, sites, and real time. We'll be learning about them slowly. So if you want to learn about how we can work on databases, so I already have a video on how to create a Appwrite application, like Appwrite blog application using Next.js and Next.js and Appwrite to create a blog application. You can follow that same guide to create a blog application using React as well. So what I will do is I will go ahead to auth and click on get started. Okay, and after doing that, we have to create one account. So what I will do is I'll click on this sign in with GitHub to sign in to my existing account. I think my account already exists on Appwrite Cloud. Yeah. So now here you will see I'm having some applications. Now this is the application that I was just testing on. Okay, so what you can do is actually you can click on this create project. Okay, wait a second, let me go back. Okay, so you can actually click on this create project and create a project, and I am having this existing project here. So let me do just one thing. I will be just deleting this particular project. I'll just delete this particular project and I will show you the setup from scratch. I will delete the project. Okay. Now what I will do is I'll create a new project. Now you can see this is CodeLux that I had created. I think I had created this particular project while creating the blog application. Okay, so let us just continue with this, or else what you can do is click on create project. Okay, click on create project and add secure X here as the name of our application. Click on next, and they will notify, you can click on this notify me to notify you when the available when the region will be available. So by default they're supporting this Frankfurt region. Click on create and they will create an application. Now to create a React application, I'll be using Vite. You can use create React app methodology, but that has been deprecated, officially deprecated. So what I will do is here I will go ahead and open, accidentally I opened that with Visual Studio Code. So I'll open this folder with my PowerShell window. If you're on Mac OS or Linux, you have a default terminal called, on Mac OS you have the ZFX terminal, and on Linux platforms you have the bash terminal. Also for Windows users you have the git bash access. You can also use git bash. But what I will do is here I'll enter npx create dash Vite at the rate latest, so that we will use the latest version of everything that we'll use. Then what I will do is I'll name my app as secure X. I will hit enter and it will ask me for select for a framework. I will select React and I will select JavaScript because most of you may not be familiar with TypeScript as a beginner, so I'll be selecting JavaScript. If it would have been my personal project and a production level project, I should have I will means I would have surely used TypeScript. Okay, and here what I will do is I'll navigate into secure X folder and open this with my Visual Studio Code. Now, after opening this with my Visual Studio Code, let me change my theme. Wait a second. Okay, I have changed my theme. Now, what I will do is I will write a npm install. Now, what was the theme that I was using is Night Owl. You can go ahead and install Night Owl theme if you like the theme. Night Owl, and my favorite ones is Night Owl with no italics. Okay, so you can install it. It has around 3.1 million downloads. Okay, so now you can see we have this node modules folder here that has been installed from here. Now what I'll do is instead of opening Windows terminal, I'll open the default terminal inside Visual Studio Code. And here what I will do is I will write a npm run dev. And after writing npm run dev, you can see it's running on port 5173. Okay, now you can see this is the default application. Let us just change some configurations. First of all, I have to remove all of the code from app.jsx. Just type it rfce. Now this particular code snippet is coming from the wait a second, ES7. Okay, this is the extension that is responsible for this code snippet. So go ahead and install ES7 React Redux React Native snippets. Okay, and click on this gear icon, go to settings, type your emit. Okay, type your emit, and here you can see I have added an item JavaScript and value is JavaScript here. And after adding this, you will get some HTML suggestions inside JavaScript, or you can say JSX syntax. Okay, and after doing this, what I will do is I'll also remove some stylings from index.css. We'll be using tailwindcss. Okay, so I have installed, I have removed all the CSS from there. Now you can see we are getting this classical application. Okay, so now what I will do is I will go ahead and I will install Appwrite. After installing Appwrite, what you have to do is you have to configure a web platform here. So I will name my app as SecureX, and the hostname will be localhost. Just change it whenever you are on the production server. So you have this npm install Appwrite. Let us copy this import client from Appwrite. Okay. So what I will do is I will go ahead to src, create a lib folder. Inside that I'll create a appwrite.config.js file, paste it here. And if I click on next, it will provide me another code snippet to create the Appwrite client. Okay, Appwrite client. Now I have created the Appwrite client. Now what I will do is I will go ahead and write here const account is equal to new account. Okay, first account equals to new account. Now where you can find the documentation is to go ahead to appwrite.io and go to docs. Okay, go to docs, and inside the products you can have the auth and concepts, accounts concept. Okay, so if you see that you can configure the account SDK something like this: import account from Appwrite that has been imported by default. Then you have to create one instance of the account class, providing the client here. You need to provide an Appwrite client here. Then do something like this to export the account from your Appwrite config file. Okay, now we have set up the entire Appwrite SDK, right? Okay, so after doing that, what I will do is I will go ahead and install one package that is called React Router DOM. I will install something called React Router DOM. And after installing React Router DOM, let me do just one thing. I'll create a components directory. Okay, and inside this components directory, let us have some folders. First of all, layouts. Okay, and the second folder will be UI slash. Then inside the layouts folder, let us create one layout that is main layout.jsx. Okay, import outlet from React Router DOM, export default function, okay, main, yeah, export default function main layout, and return. What I'll return is I'll simply return outlet inside this empty fragment. Okay, now after saving that, I should go ahead and create a pages directory. Set that pages directory home page.jsx rfce. Okay, and here I will create one auth folder. Sorry, I accidentally created a file. Wait a second. Let me do here RFC. So now what I'll do is I'll create one auth folder. Inside the pages folder, let us create a sign up page.jsx RFC. Okay. And one sign in page.jsx RFC. Now, as soon as I save it, okay, as soon as I save it, now what can I do is, okay, so then what should I do is, I will have to create one auth layout as well, auth layout.jsx. Okay, now import outlet from React Router DOM, export default function auth layout. Okay, sorry, auth layout and return empty fragments, and inside this I will return the outlet. Let me save that. With that said, let us go ahead and import something called create browser router and router provider from React Router. Okay, after importing that, what I'll import is an import main layout from dot slash, sorry, dot slash layouts. Sorry, wait a second. Dot slash component slash layout slash main layout. Okay, and import auth layout from dot slash component slash layouts slash auth layout. Okay, import home page from dot slash pages slash home page. Okay, I'm just importing all my components here. It's at the app.jsx, nothing else. So let us also import sign up page from dot slash pages slash auth slash sign up page. Import sign in page from dot slash pages slash auth slash sign in page. Okay. Now after doing that, let us create a router instance. The router is equal to create browser router, call the create browser router function. It takes array of objects. So first of all, let us provide the path, that is slash. Element will be main layout. Okay, and then children. Children will be array of objects. First of all, this is index 2 because we want to render this as the home page, and the element will be home page. Okay, and after that, outside this object where I'm configuring my home page, outside this entire object, just observe that I'll just collapse this, and outside this particular object I'll create another path that is for slash auth element. What will be the element? That will be auth layout, and then children will be the same array of objects. Path, first of all, it's sign up. Okay, element will be sign up page. Okay, then path, sign in, element will be sign in page. Okay, and as soon as I save it, I should return the router provider here. Router provider. Okay, let's provide the router prop here. And if I'll save it and go to my application, you can see I'm getting this home page. As soon as I go to slash auth slash sign in, I'll get the sign in page, and slash auth slash sign up and get the sign up page. Okay, so now we are done with the minimal setup. Now let us just go ahead and do something like we will set up the context to handle the Appwrite authentication. So let us create a context folder. Inside that, I'll create auth dash provider .jsx, import create context, okay, use date and use effect from React, import account from dot slash lib slash appwrite.config. Okay, and const auth context is equal to create context, okay, create context and export default auth context. Okay, now let us create a provider here. Export const auth provider is equal to, let us destructure the children that will be getting from React. Okay, then what I will do is the return, simply return auth context dot provider, and we'll just return the children. Now what I will do is here const user comma set user is equal to use state nothing. Okay, const get user session is equal to async const session is equal to await account.get. Okay, so this is a constant export, not a default export actually. So account dot get session. Okay, get session. So current. Okay, so current, and what I will do is actually I'll create on state to is authenticated. Okay, rather than creating a state for the user, I'll create a state that is authenticated or not authenticated. So I'll initially set the value to false. Okay, so set is authenticated session. If I'm getting the session, set it to true. Or let us say we'll do a try catch. Okay, inside try. So if I'm getting the session, set is authenticated true. Else, if you're getting an error, set the is authenticated to false. Because by default, what happens is if you're using a guest, means if you're trying to get the session, initially what happens is it returns a 401 unauthorized error because we don't have any active sessions initially. So what I'll do is I'll bring the use effect hook here, and I want this to run on the first tender of every page. So I'll provide one empty dependency array. So let us call the get user session. Okay. Now, as soon as I do this, what I have to do is I have to create one context data object, const context data is equal to is authenticated, comma set is authenticated. Okay, and value is equal to context data. Now what this will do is it will means allow me to access is authenticated and set is authenticated state globally within any component of my application. Now what I have to do is I have to actually also create one custom hook. So I'll create a hooks folder. Inside that I will create one use auth hook.csx, import use context from React. Okay, export const use auth. Okay. Use context auth context. Let us save that. And after creating this particular hook here, what I'll do is I'll wrap my entire router provider data inside the auth provider that is coming from dot slash context slash auth provider. Okay, now as soon as I do that, what will happen is if I inspect and show you the errors, you can see by default we're getting 401 unauthorized error. It means that our Appwrite SDK has been successfully implemented, and we can also get the existing user session. Now, what I will do is first of all, let us focus on the logic, how to create one user account, how to authenticate the user. Now, as soon as I go here, you'll see the users API. Okay, so learn more about users API. Now, here you will see that create a new user. Now, what you have to do is actually, I'm using, wait a second. Yeah, I'm using Node.js. I'm using Node.js, and here what I have to do is I have to do something like this. Okay, so create one account. I want to see the accounts API. Okay, create account actually. So account dot create. Okay, so what you have to do is let us come inside the components, not inside components, pages folder. Inside auth, we have the sign up page. Here, what I will do is I'll create a simple form. Okay, simple form. I'll write her submit and then submit. Okay, so I'll create a div here, div label HTML for email, email address and input type email. Okay, input type email, name will be email and ID will be also email. And also I have to create another input that is for password. Okay, now here I will add a button to submit the form. Now what I will do is I'll create one on handle submit function here. Const handle submit. Now what I will do is first of all let us prevent the default behavior of the form. Okay, then what I will do is I will not create any state for managing the user credentials. Rather, let me do it in a smarter way. So I'll write a const user cred user cred, or let us say user credentials is equal to object from entries, then object dot from entries create a form data, okay, form data, and it needs the HTML form element, so I'll provide as e dot current target. It will refer to the form whenever I'm submitting the particular form. Now if I console log the user credentials, if I console log the user credentials, you'll see, let me show you the console, developer console. If I click on submit, you can see I'm getting the email and password here without creating any state here. Okay, so what I will do is I'll write here that if user credentials dot email is blank, or let us say user credentials dot password, this is also blank. So let us just go ahead and give one alert. Okay, alert that please fill up all the fields. Okay, else what I will do is I will go ahead and make this an asynchronous function. Okay, now const result is equal to await account dot create. So it will first of all take the user ID. I will use the ID that is coming from Appwrite, which is a class, and I will call the met unique method from that particular class. Okay, to generate unique IDs for our users. And then what I will do is I'll provide the email that is user credentials dot email, okay, and user credentials dot password, which is the password. Okay, so then we can provide the name that is optional, so we don't need that. So I'll not provide any name for now. So let us just see what I'm getting inside the result. Okay, so if I reload it, click on submit. Now please fill up all the fields. So what I will do is I'll write here my email. As soon as I do that, if I'll click on submit, now you can see I'm getting this result here. That is the user ID. This is my user ID. Then I'm having the email. Then email verification will be not implementing that one. Okay, then password update, phone. We don't have any phone or any name. And registration date and time. So what I will do is I will go inside my Appwrite console, and here I'm already inside my project. So I'll go inside dashboard, click on auth, and let us see which user I'm having. So I'm having this user here. So I'll click on this verify account. So this will automatically actually verify the account. Now you can see I'm not having any name here. So what I'll do is I'll just manually add my name. I'm just manually adding my name because it's not looking good actually. So now you can see overview. This is the user avatar that has been generated here. Okay, and we can also reset the password, but I'm not going through that now. Uh, then we have some preferences here. Okay, so we can actually add some preferences like theme settings, font settings, and many more. But let us just forget about that right now. Then after creating our account, then now you can see we can enter account.get and get the current account set logged in. Okay, now you can see get the preferences as key value object for the currently logged in user. You can get the user preferences here. So what I will do is I want to create a session. Okay, I want to create a session, create one anonymous session. So use this endpoint to allow a new user to register as an anonymous account in your project. Okay, so we don't need any anonymous session. So we need this particular create email password session. So to create one email password session, let me just copy everything from here and paste it inside the sign in page and change the component name to sign in page. Here what I will do is instead of writing here create, and let it create email password session. Now this will not take any id.unique because we have to only pass in the email and password for the user. Okay, and then here what I will do is I'll only handle the login. Okay, now as soon as I go to slash sign in, now I have to provide my email address. So if I'll click on submit, it will create my account here. The Appwrite is using increases security as adding a custom domain. Okay, so actually what it's doing is uh okay, so it's actually using this particular local storage for session management. So what we have to do is actually it's telling that increase your security by adding a custom domain as your API endpoint. Okay, so we will not do that right. We will not do that right now. So what I will do is next thing is that how we can create a passwordless login. Okay, let us go ahead and browse that to create a passwordless login. Okay, so let me see auth, and here I want to create a passwordless login that is magic URL login. Okay, magic URL login. Now to create a magic URL login, what I have to do is actually what I can do is so here instead of password, okay, instead of password, if I want to send a login link to the user, So I'll remove this password from here. I'll remove the password also from this will automatically remove the password entry from the user credentials. So I don't need the password. Okay. So what I will do is I'll create a passwordless login method, create a magic URL token. Okay. Create a magic URL token. Then what I have to do is I'll write a create magic URL token. Okay. Now I need this particular user credentials dot email as well as the id dot unique here. Okay, id dot unique. Then I have to provide the host and the full URL. So I'll create a .env, and inside the .env, what I will do is I'll write a Vite. Okay, uh, Vite underscore public host is equal to HTTP localhost colon 3000. I will save this. I will save this, and I will write here import dot meta dot env dot this plus slash verify. Okay. Let us say slash passwordless dash auth. Okay. Passwordless dash auth. Let us say slash verify. Okay. So what I will do is, wait a second, let us keep it as passwordless auth because we are not creating any verification token. Now, if I'll go ahead and type my email address here, let us say, what I will do is to delete my existing session, I'll delete all the cookies. Okay. And what I'll do is here, I'll write my email. Okay. Now, if I'll go ahead to my email, wait a second, not to mail trap, mail.google.com. If I'll go here, I will see that secure X login. Now you can see I'm getting this user ID, the secret and expiration time. So if I'll click on this sign in to secure X, sign in to secure X. Okay. So actually localhost refused to connect because oh shit. I just forgot that I'm running my application on port 5173 actually. 5173. So let me see if I've created any tokens here. Okay, so it has automatically logged out me off my Appwrite account. So I have logged in again. Now let us see if it has created any URL. Okay, so let us see. No, we are not getting anything. So what I will do is actually, let me just delete this email. I'll just delete this email. And here what I will do is I'll type my email key. Okay, so now let us just refresh our, uh, okay. So now if I'll click on this, it will take me to this page, but what should I do is I have to create this passwordless page. So to create this passwordless page, it's at the okay, so I think I again made a mistake. I should have written here slash auth slash passwordless auth. Always I go ahead and make mistakes. So let us create another magic token, magic URL token. If I click on sign in to SecureX, okay, so you will see that I'm getting this error. So I'll create one passwordless auth. Okay, now import Okay, and also import used search params from React router DOM. Okay, now export default function passwordless auth. Okay, const user ID is equal to search params dot get. I think I can get like this. So let us see what happens. Secret is secret. And what I will do is I'll just return here a paragraph, and I'll be rendering the user ID. Let us see what we are getting. Okay. So if I reload, I am still not getting anything because I have to configure it here. Okay. Let us write the passwordless dash auth. Okay. And I have to enter the passwordless auth page here. If I reload it, I'm getting the user ID. Okay. So search params. So I'm not getting the search param for it. So let me see the React router DOM. Okay, so I have to actually go through the documentation first to read the search params. It use search params. Okay. Okay, so what I have to do is actually search params, comma set search params. Now, actually, what I have to do is I have to write a user ID is equal to search params dot get. Okay, search params dot get all. If I'll do it get all. Let me see what I'm getting. Okay, so I'll just do it get user ID, save it, reload it. Now I'm getting the user ID. And how can I get the secret? Okay, now as per the login URL, I think this expires. Okay, I think this shouldn't expire actually, so I took a long time to verify this. Okay, now use effect const create session is equal to const create user session is equal to async. Okay, async and write here await account dot create session. So we should give the user ID and the secret. Okay, and also let us do one thing. Const loading, comma set loading, use state true. Now why I'm not saving is to see the effect. Okay, create user session. Now set loading to false. Now if I'm loading, okay, let us give the loading text else logged in successfully. Okay, so if I'll save it, now logged in successfully. Now if I'll see the application, I should have been logged in here. So you can see key fallback. Now this is my particular authentication token that I'm getting here after logging into my account. So if I reload it, uh, prohibited creation of a session is prohibited when a session is active. So what I want to do is, actually what I want to do is, I want to prohibit the user to access this routes after the user is logged. So I have to create some components here. It's outside this inside the UI. Let us just create some components. Import user, import outlet, and navigate component from React Auto. Okay, export default function test routes. Okay, now what I'll do is const is authenticated is equal to, okay, I have to destructure, so let us restructure inside the object is equal to use auth and return empty fragments. Okay, I'll give one JavaScript object. And now inside this particular syntax, what I'll do is if the user is authenticated, navigate the user to slash or else return the outlet. Or else return the outlet. Now we'll be doing the same thing with protected routes. Now the reverse will be true. Like if the user is authenticated, then return the user the outlet, the particular page, or else redirect the user to slash dot slash sign. Okay, slash dot slash sign in. Or what we can do is actually instead of creating this passwordless auth, what can I do is I can actually cut this, paste it here, paste it here. And what I will do is use search params. So I have to import that also. So what I will do is use effect. Okay. So let me just copy this function from here. Okay, I'll copy this function from here. And what I will do is I'll bring in the same use auth hook. I'll destructure set is authenticated is equal to use auth. Okay, and what I will do is I will add one use effect hook here. If okay, if user ID ampersand secret, if I'm getting this two parameters, try to create the user session. Okay, so what should I do is actually let me just make it one asynchronous function. Okay, and set is authenticated. What I will do is then what I will do is inside this password method, what I'm doing is now if I'm not getting sorry, a second. Okay, so what I will do is I'll write here user ID, not of user ID. Okay, so what you have to do is we have to actually enclose them within this empty fragments right here. Okay, so not of user ID ampersand ampersand. So what I'll do is I'll just return this particular form here, or else I'll just return this loading statement. So let me just bring this down. So now I think this should work. Now what I will do is actually uh, I will remove this particular passwordless auth from here. Now inside this app.jsx, let us just remove this passwordless auth. Instead, what I will do is inside the sign in page, what I will do is I will actually redirect the user to slash auth slash sign. Okay. Now, okay. 500 internal server error. What happened? Uh, okay, so I have to remove this import from app.jsx. If I reload, so not found, it's actually raising a not found error. So what I will do is I'll remove everything from there. Now I can access the home page. But if I try to access the authentication page, so still I'm able to access because we have not yet added the particular guest routes and protected routes components to our layouts. So let us go inside the layouts folder. Inside auth layout, let us add the guest routes. And inside the main layout, let us add protected. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so I have to rename this component protected routes. Okay, now as soon as I do that, if I'll try to access auth sign up page, it will automatically redirect me to this page. Now, what should I do is actually inside this particular app.jsx, or let us say inside the main.jsx, let us add a suspense, okay, fallback, okay, fallback will be, if I'll save this, now use state is not defined, uh, let's remove the suspense from here. So what I will do is inside my context auth provider, so const loading, comma set loading is equal to use state false, let us do true. Okay, now if you're loading, okay, so we'll return a paragraph tag showing us the loading text, or else we'll return the children. Okay, now what's happening is it's still showing loading. Okay, what's happening is actually we have to set the loading to false once the user has authenticated or the user has not been authenticated. So in both the cases, we'll be setting the loading to false. So at the end of the particular get user session function, We'll set the loading to false as soon as we get the session. Okay, so reload it and we're getting this home page slash auth slash sign. Okay, you can see we're getting this home page. Now what I will do is I'll delete my existing Appwrite session. What's happening here? Let me see inside the auth layout and main layout. So this is protected route, so we shouldn't get any we shouldn't be getting this particular home page here because that is protected. So I have to actually delete this particular key sessions. If I reload it again, slash auth slash sign in, use state is not defined. Slash auth slash sign in. Okay, reload that, loading, and if I'll provide my email address here, and click on submit. Now, what's happening here is actually, oh geez, I just did a wrong thing that I should have added this use effect hook outside the function, not inside the function. So what it's doing is it will, I think it should send me, no, it's not sending me any reset token. Sorry, not reset, actually magic URL token. So let us try again. Click on submit. Still it's trying to submit this function. What's happening here? E.prevent default. Okay, so let us check what's happening. Let's try to add on email again. So if I'm clicking on submit, what's happening is that it's actually hmm, so I think we should recreate that particular passwordless auth component here. It's creating a lot of confusions here. So what I'll do is I'll recreate this passwordless auth component. I don't know why it's not working actually. So this should work actually, so but it's not. It's not working. So I had to create the passwordless component again. So I just pressed Control C and it has just undone my deletion of passwordless auth component. Let us come inside app.jsx, also press Control C. Okay. Now use state is not defined. Again that error, same error. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just remove this particular use state and use effect from this page. Now inside passwordless auth, let me just bring in set is authenticated from the use auth hook. Okay, as soon as I do this, what I will do is I will set the authenticated to true. Okay, now if I'll go ahead Okay, now I should get the ID. Now I will get one email from Appwrite. Okay, now sign into secure X, loading and home page. Yeah, now we are authenticated. If I reload this, I still get the home page. If I'll go to /out/sign up, I'm still getting the home page. Can I go ahead to use phone, but particular phone here? So I will not do this for now. I will not go ahead to phone SMS login. So let us just do one thing. Okay. Let us just add some designing here. Okay, so to add some designs, what I will do is I will go ahead and add tailwind css here. So tailwind css Vite. Okay, I will also add shadcn to my application. Okay, I am also adding shadcn. Wait a second. Okay. Now what I will do is I will also add shadcn. Before adding shadcn, let us configure something. So inside read.config.js, first of all, we have to write here uh, like daemon css. Also, we have to install something called type/node to have access to the path module. So we'll install it as a dev dependency. Inside index.css, add that import tailwind css. Okay, add that import tailwind css. Now, after importing tailwind css, okay, so inside my root directory, I'll create a jsconfig.json. Here, compiler options. Okay, paths. I'll provide this @/start. Okay, /src/start. Inside vite.config.js, let us provide here a resolve alias. Okay, so what will be the customized alias? That is and path dot resolve. Okay, path dot resolve. Now I have to create some variables here. That is const __ file name is equal to file URL to path import dot meta dot URL. Okay, and const __ dir name is equal to path dot dir name. Okay, path dot dir name __ file name. Now here inside path.resolve, let us provide __ dir name and /src. Now for this will do is it will allow us whenever we'll type @, it will directly point to the root of the src folder. Now what we can also do is now instead of writing this // directly just write @/hooks/users. Okay, instead of writing /lib and write @/lib, now you can see it's much more convenient in writing than just increasing the redundancy of this // Okay, so I'm trying to decrease the redundancy of everything. So let us just do that for some time. So it's at auth provider as well. So I'll provide here @/lib/appwrite.config. Now I'll close everything. and close everything. Here also what we can do is we can enter at thread slash index.css, save that. And after we are done with the customization of our import alias, actually what happens is inside this UI folder, shadcn will add its own components. So let us bring those components out of this particular components folder, component slash UI folder. Now after moving this main layout dot, okay, so we have to change this main layout and auth layout files because we have moved the guest routes and protected routes file out of the UI folder. So what I'll do is I'll write a inject shadcn at the latest init. So I'll choose sync, okay, and it will be some warnings that it looks like you're using React Native. Some packages may fail to install. Okay, I don't worry about that. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll add a couple of components from shadcn, button, card, input, okay, then sooner, or we'll add React Hot Toast or React Toastify. Okay, so I will add button, card, input, then I will go ahead and I can do, so let me think of, okay, I will add the form as well. Now after adding these things, now I have to change a couple of things here. So first of all, we'll be going ahead and changing the forms, okay, that we had created inside our pages directory inside sign in page. So we had this form here to handle the submit, but we don't, wait a second. What I will do is I'll change the form of this name to on submit function. What I'm doing is I'll tell you, okay, let us create a schema const sign in schema, okay, is equal to z, that will come from zord dot object, okay, zord dot object. Now what I will do is here I'll write here email, okay, z dot string, okay, and dot e message invalid invalid email address, okay, invalid email address. Now what I will do is here, I will write here const for is equal to use for hook. Okay, so here first I have to provide the resolver, that is Zord resolver, that will come from, I have to actually manually import it, import from at that hook form slash resolver slash Zord. So I'll import Zord resolver, okay, Zord resolver, and to use the particular form schema, I have to import the Zord resolver. So I'll use the sign in schema here and default values email as an empty string. Now instead of providing here event, I'll provide a data here. Okay, I'll provide data here. Now I don't need to validate manually because Zord will automatically handle the validations for me. Okay, so Zord will automatically handle the validations from me. Now I will do just data.email, data.email. Now what I will do is here I will render out the font that will come from React font, not React form actually. That will come from @ slash components slash UI slash font dot form. Okay. Now here I will provide my enter form here. So what I will do is instead of doing like this, I'll bring here form field. Okay. Form field. Now control is equal to, let me go to the shadcn documentation. Okay. So I'm getting some errors actually. Okay, so these errors are coming from, I think. Okay, so wait a second, let me just fix some errors. Inside this app.jsx, actually we don't need this @slash, and also inside the layouts file, don't need this @. You can do it like .. Okay. If you have to do it with @, you have to do it like this @slash @slash then components slash guest routes. So you have to do something like this if you have to import, but I will do it like .. Okay, because we have to come one directory up only, not two directories up. Okay, now here inside the sign in page, what I was doing is I was rendering this form field. Let us come to the official documentation inside the form. Okay, so I have to do something like this. So control is equal to form dot control. Okay, and then name is equal to email render field. Okay, so I have to render this particular form item here. For item. Okay, then I have to render the form label. Okay, email address. Then let us add form control. Okay, form control, and I'll provide one input here. Input type is equal, will not provide any type. Rather, we'll just provide a placeholder. Enter your email address. Okay, enter your email address, and what I'll do is I'll write a field, and to render the form messages. Okay, to render the form messages below the form control, I'll provide the form message component to render out the form messages. Okay, and after doing that, I have to just render the button component that will come from @ components slash UI slash button. And here what I'll do is I'll write a site. Now we get a lot of icons by using React that will be by default installed when you're adding shadcn to a project. Okay, and what I will do is I'll write a class name of wfull because I want the full width. Okay, so what I have to do is actually I have to reload my window once because I need some auto suggestions, and VS Code requires a reload if you are having some dependencies in this. Sometimes it doesn't detect your dependencies automatically. So you have to just reload your page once. Okay. So what I will do is I'll just delete all the existing cookies. Okay. So now you can see I'm getting this button here, but why I'm not getting this button? Okay, so I think I need to restart my server once to ensure that my, okay, so I'll just restart my server once. Okay, now you can see this is spanning the entire width, but I don't want that. So what I will do is actually I need to use the card component here. Okay, so what I will do is I'll render this entire form within a div class name. Okay, min at screen, min at screen. Okay, flex items center, justify center, flex direction call. And what I'll do is I'll render a card here. Okay, card. Inside that I'll have a card content. Inside card content, okay. So card header and here card title. Okay. So login with email. I will provide the form here. And if I'll go here, you'll see that I'm getting this particular card. So what I'll do is I'll provide a class name here, W of 96. So here the card title, let us add a class name of text center. Okay. Add to this form class name or space y6. Okay. And to this particular form item class name of space y3. I will change that. Now it looks good. Also to this particular form, I'll add a margin top of 6, that is 1.5 rem. I'm not having any borders to this card. Let's add a border. I should have a border to this card, but I don't know why it's not adding a border to this particular card. Okay, so let me go to this card component and let me see what's happening. Okay, code here. I don't know why it's not having any borders here. Okay, let's just remove this border. Okay, I will save this and to this particular login of theme and add this text to Excel. Text to Excel, and let me just copy this inside sign up page. I'll paste it here. I'll change a couple of things like the imports. What I'll do is I'll copy everything from here and cut it, paste it right here. And what I'll do is I'll also copy the center thing from here. Okay, remove this. Okay, paste it here. Okay, and what I will do is I'll change a couple of things. Sign up schema. Okay, sign up schema, invalid email address, and then I can add a field for password, that is z dot string. Okay, and also I will add dot non empty. Okay, message password is required. Okay, now here I'll provide a password blank field. I'll be using the sign up schema, not the sign in schema. So here what I have to do is not create a magic URL token. I will create email dot create only. So I have to provide data dot email as well as data dot password. Okay, so create your account, create your account, and I will return another font field, asking for password. The input type will be password. Okay, choose strong password. Choose a strong. I will save this and let us check if it's working fine or not. So I'll go to sign up and create an account. So I will choose my username. So I don't know why it's okay. So I have to change the name for the field, that is password. So if I reload it and again, I will type here my email, click on sign in, and it's happening here. Call submit async data. Okay, so here what I have to do is actually inside the sign in. First of all, let us change that form dot handle submit on submit form dot handle submit. Then we'll pass our custom function here. So inside the sign up page also form dot handle submit will pass our function. Now it's actually making a get request. Okay, click on sign in to change the so sign up and it should create our account. So let us see. Uh, Okay, so object. I think our let us go to appwrite.io. So now it's telling me control H class is equal to m. Okay, so class name is equal to. So inside JSX class changes to class name and for changes to HTML. Remember that every time. Okay, so oh, so that's why it was not giving any border to this particular card here. So as soon as I create my account, what should I do is I should reset the entire form. As soon as I also create one magic URL token, I should reset my form. Okay. So I will save this and let us see. I'm getting 62 requests and it said auth. Now you can see I'm having this, I'm having another user as well. Okay. Now if I reload, now what I will do is I will add a React Hostify component and here I React Hostify. Okay, so instead of adding that, let us just directly use the sooner component by shadcn. We can use this, so or let us use React Hostify. So inside the auth layout, we have to actually again add toast container right here. So instead of adding it right here, what I will do is I will go ahead to my app.jsx and before adding this auth router provider, what I'll do is I'll provide this toast container right. Toast container and some options like auto close will be after 2500 milliseconds, that is 2.5 seconds. Okay, and the default position is top right. Okay, now what I will do is after creating a magic URL, toast.success login link send to email, send to provided email. Okay, now toast.success inside this particular sign up page as well. User account created successful. User account created successful. So after doing this, let us go to slash sign in and try to enter our email address. Okay. So now I'm being redirected to my home page. What I will do is actually the auth state is not is being maintained on other mail. So what I'll do is I'll go here and see what happens. Okay, so I'm having the home page here because okay, now here what I will do is let us quickly create a navigation. Export default function navbar. Okay, return nav class flex. Okay, flex column empty flex row. Okay, and then items center justify center empty justify between. Okay, space y6 space x0 and empty space y0 empty space x6. Okay, let us add a link here. Link to slash okay last name text excel empty text to excel font semicolon. Okay, secure x. Okay, secure x, and let us provide a button here, simple button on click handle logout. Okay, handle logout logout icon. And here what I will do is const set is authenticated is equal to use auth const handle logout is equal to okay. So await async await account dot delete session. Okay, so session ID current. Okay, inside the context as well, we should provide the okay, so get session current. So it will get the current session and set. And what I will do is set timeout 0700. Okay, let us bring in const navigate is equal to use navigate hook from React Router DOM. And what I will do is set is authenticated to false and display toast dot success. Okay, toast dot success, that is logged out successful. I'm not focusing on designing the entire page. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to also navigate the user, navigate to slash auth slash sign in. Okay, I'll save this. Let me do one thing inside the sign up page. What I'll do is I will just set not set is authenticated. Okay, what I will do is I'll bring in the same const navigate is equal to use navigate from react.dom. Okay, and what I'm doing is actually to redirect the user to the sign-in page after the user has successfully signed up. And here what I will do is inside the passwordless auth. Okay, what I will do is I'll set is authenticated to true. Okay, now logged in successfully. It's been logged in successfully and set is authenticated to true. So actually inside this particular navbot or JSX, I don't need this navigate function because automatically it will redirect me to the home page after I am signed up. I don't need this use navigate. And also inside passwordless, after setting this particular is authenticated to true, it will it will redirect me automatically to my home page. If I reload, I'll be not getting any navigation because I have not added that to my main link. Save that, reload it, and still I'm not getting any button. Why? I should get my navigation bar here, but I'm not getting any nav bar. That's interesting. I'm not getting my nav bar here. So am I not returning anything from my nav bar? So I'm returning everything, but still I'm not getting this nav bar here. So let me do one thing. Let me just manually word inside app.jsx, and if I try to add nav bar here, what will happen is it will raise some errors. I don't know why my navigation is not being rendered. I think I'm rendering this inside the should render it inside the nav main layout actually. It's still not returning me. Okay, so I think it's resolving the issue. But what I need to do is I have to actually remove this guest route and protected routes from here. Okay, what I'll do is inside this app.jsx. Okay, I have to add another element here that is guest routes. Okay, just see what I'm doing. Children, paste it here, save it, and inside this particular index part as well, what I have to do is I have to write here protected routes. Okay, so I'm getting everything, but still my navigation bar is not being rendered properly. So I have to just restart my server. Still it's not rendering anything. Why? Let me see. Use flex. Oh, sorry. I have to actually use the button component from UI. Okay, so button is not defined. We import that, save it, and you can see, and we have to actually add some padding, px6, py3. Okay, and sticky top 0. Okay, backdrop blur empty, okay, shadow empty, and I think this should look good. Yeah, that looks good. So if I reload it and if I click on logout, so logged out successfully, now we can work on this particular project. Now we have come, now you can see we have completed the entire project with passwordless login, and also we can have the slash sign up page. I can go ahead and modify the particular UI and add the login and sign in, like sign in URL at the bottom of the card, and the login URL, sign up URL to the bottom of this login card. Also try to implement OAuth using Appwrite. Okay, so that's one exercise for you. So I'm ending this tutorial here. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you next time.